Call this council meeting to order at 6 p.m. First of all, I need a motion for the adoption of the minutes, please.
Resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting of council held at City Hall on September 27th, 2021 be adopted as circulated.
Moved by Councillor Meyer and seconded by Councillor Knox. All those in favor? And that's carried. We have 3 delegations this evening. Before we begin with the delegations, just remind anybody that's a delegation that their time limit will be 5 minutes. There will be questions allowed by members of council. If any members of council have questions after the presentation, they'll get a chance to ask those. And our first delegation this evening is Mr. Alan Varel. You here, sir? Oh, welcome.
Hello.
The floor is yours. Take the podium.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, I start now?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
Okay, I have some house in the second March in the Burn, on the 59 3 Northwest, Portage la Prairie. Assurance don't tell me nothing for demolition. I visit a couple of times in the first month, 2 months too. But after I can't contact insurance and I go many times insurance. I try to call, no answer, he's not here. Bon, moi je savais pas quoi faire. I don't know what to make. Alors, I give everything for the chef and the department and the fire, the telephone number and the name too. Et puis, on 15 July, probably, some my lawyer tell me, okay, you need to pay now $500 in a day. I start from today. Ah bon? As what municipality make that? I'm surprised. Bon, I think insurance make everything, but no, never tell me nothing on that. I need to pay $6,500 for that. I pay already because I sell the land and some guy. Je sais pas quoi faire, mais pour moi c'est pas à moi de payer. It's not me to pay. Ça suppose l'assurance et l'assurance elle-même de payer ça. C'est pas à moi de. Elle m'a rien dit, elle m'a jamais avisé de never advise for see some demolition or something that, you know. Je sais pas, moi je suis perdu là-dessus. I don't know what to speak, you know. J'ai toutes les preuves, si vous voulez, pour les voir, mais bon, c'est mes papiers originaux de la banque. I don't have money on this time. As demolition, he asked me 35. The second day, 45. 10,000 more. Because you have asbestos, everything, you know. I think he no lose money anyway. Guarantee. And he tried to 52, but I don't pay that. That's sûr. I speak everything what you need, but for me, it's still from my pocket. That's it. 65 direct. I pay already $4,800 for the fence. I don't know how much I paid for that before I pay. So, I don't know. Surprise in the end too. No. Et puis tout grant comment need the test for the asbestos. Pay before too. Okay, I'm okay. Et comment I make some tests before. No negative. Two tests. Brick on the inside the vermiculite. Et negative. After I need a test for professional. Take to grant justement. Et positif. I don't know. Je ne sais pas pourquoi j'ai fait des tests before, because Before it's negative, et puis now I was professional, it's positive. It's same test, huh?
Mr. Burrell, you have 1 minute left in your time.
Yeah.
Could you explain your ask of council? You're asking council for, what's your ask?
But ask 65 bucks, 6,500 back, and because ask for insurance, you know. You ask insurance for the payment.
So you want a refund of $6,500
Yeah.
from the demolition?
Yeah,
Okay.
because nobody has avised me. You know, I think insurance make everything. Nobody move. I'm surprised. I signed some paper in Winnipeg for some company. I don't know what I signed. So maybe for asbestos, I don't know. But I'm thinking it's a sign for destroy this house. No, nothing. No. This is why it's not happened for almost 5 months, you know. I'm sorry for that, but...
Okay.
Yeah.
That concludes your time. Were there any questions from council? Okay, we have your request, sir. We will consider it and we will communicate the answer back to you in the next week or so.
Yeah?
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks very much.
And our next delegation this evening is Shauna Boris. Welcome. Could you state your name for the record, ma'am?
Shauna Boris.
Okay. And as I outlined earlier, we have 3 delegations this evening. Each delegation has 5 minutes. Afterwards, council will be entitled to ask questions. You may begin. Thank you.
Okay. So I created a pilot project. It's called Empowering Portage Community Program. The goal is to work with organizations and business to collaborate different ideas how we can get people back into the workforce on a volunteer basis and with the possibility of leading to an employment opportunity. So I haven't had a lot of time to approach people, but I've approached some organizations. So far, I have Erin Miller. She's a founder of her organization with Miller Strong. I have Dawn Frost with Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and they're willing to participate with maybe able to use some volunteers on occasions. That's the youth. Prairie Pregnancy Support Center. Mary Lowen. I think that's how to pronounce. Sorry. She is willing to provide support for like volunteers from her organization. Tyrion Boyce from Director of Services, Vision of Independence. She said, I could provide volunteers, also like volunteers for the day program. Dan, Puven, tell them, he's looking for help with his business. Katie, I can't pronounce her name. She is with, the Portage Friendship Center. They're willing to provide clients, or refer clients, sorry. Kim Hamilton also signed my papers with New Directions. She's willing to, individuals in the program may benefit from further communities, sorry, I can't, something about social interactions. I can't read some of her writing. but she's willing to help with the program, to provide like a supports, like for individuals who are struggling, like who have disabilities. We also guess with their support workers for New Directions. Kathy. Oh, the Herman Pryor Center also signed my papers. Kathy Bryce. And they need volunteers. The Herman Pryor Activities Center is always looking for volunteers for a variety of tasks. We do need all who the center shows front from. They were calling for vaccinations and to wear masks for the volunteers. Sorry, sometimes I can't read some of the writing properly. But so I do have organizations already willing to work with me. Now, the next goal is to get some business owners willing to participate, like such as maybe Chicken Chef, for example, who might need someone to clean the tables, someone to sweep the floors, like, you know, like just little tasks that get people working. So,
Shauna, there's 30 seconds left, okay?
Okay. Okay, so the goal is to get people back in the workforce and doing little jobs like for on a volunteer basis, but also willing some may be able to get a job position on as a. I'm doing. Sorry.
Okay, thank you, Shauna. Were there any questions from council for Shauna on the program? Well, Councillor Buds.
Yes.
Thanks, Shauna, for your presentation. Where exactly are you getting your pool of volunteers from?
The organizations. So, for example, all the organizations that I named, they're looking. They have the clients, like the Friendship Center, for example, they have a lot of people. But the Herman Pryor Center, they need the volunteers. So that's how I'm gonna work together, like with the different organizations.
You're just linking up organization to organization is what you're saying?
Yeah, right now I just got to talk to people from organizations. So they will provide the volunteers, right? But the businesses will need the staff or the volunteers to help with their businesses. Yes.
Okay. Councillor Draycott.
Thanks for your information, Shauna. Are you based out of anywhere, or if there's an organization or a business that would like to connect with you, is there a way that they can connect with Empowering Portage Community Program?
Well, all the people who signed my paper so far, who are willing to participate in this plan.
Yeah, for example, like myself, I have an online restaurant. Easy for people on the street that are homeless. Say, come help me clean the table. Come help me prepare some food. Something like that they can do because, you know, a lot of times they don't have jobs. And just get them to start something small.
But I believe that everyone got a copy of my information, right, before, so we're aware, kind of understanding where this is going. So the people who signed for this agreed that they're willing to help with this plan.
Okay. Any other questions from council? Okay, well, sorry.
Support. I believe that we can all kind of work together on a plan to improve Portage la Prairie and to collaborate like different ideas and plans how we can work together. Even if there's volunteer work in the city, for example, like if there's work in the park, we can put like volunteers in the park or doing stuff that are odd jobs like around the city that needs to be done. Like, yeah, so I got I got the organization saying we have the people. We just need the work now. Yeah.
Any further questions from council? Well, Sean, I want to thank you very much for taking time of your schedule to come out and present on the new program to council. We appreciate hearing about it. Thank you very much.
Yeah. So this is my plan, is to work with the community and become just work together. And
Okay, thank you, Shauna.
okay, thank you.
Our third delegation this evening is delegation of Central Plains Cancer Care Services. This is transportation services. And tonight's presenter is Sherilyn Knox. Sherilyn, you'll have 5 minutes to present. And you'll be on a timer.
Perfect. Thank you, Your Worship. Thank you, Council, for having me here.
Starting now.
What's that?
You have 4 minutes, 57 seconds.
Oh, boy. Thank you. I put on a different hat for this 5 minutes. I thought I had 10, but I'll stay with 5. I'm the Executive Director from Central Plains Cancer Services, and I'm here tonight. I'm on a tour of all of the municipal governments in our region, and you are my third one so far that I've visited. And what we're doing is we just want to make sure people are aware of what Central Plains Cancer Services is and the services that we offer citizens in this community and surrounding area. So we've been serving Portage and area since 1998, a long time. We're a grassroots organization that receives 0 government dollars. All of what we do comes from our generous donors and our fundraising efforts. COVID has changed things for us drastically in the last 18 months when, we don't do our fundraisers that we usually do. I can see around this table, there's a lot of people here that are volunteers for us, that support our organization, and we're thankful for that. Our biggest program that we do is our transportation program. Last year, even through COVID, we provided our patients with over 240,000 kilometers of transportation to their appointments and much needed treatments. We were actually the only driving program that remained operational for cancer in this country during COVID. We made a decision that if we weren't there, people weren't going to do it. So we put safety protocols in place and made sure that people got to where they needed to go. We even reached out outside of our region because people needed the service and we needed to get them there. For those who don't know, our region is very large. We go as far west as Minnedosa and Erickson, north to McCreary, east to Eli, and south down to the Swan Lakes, Altamont area. We have a number of other programs that we offer, but one that I just want to highlight tonight is our Care for Kids program. When we have children in our region who are diagnosed with cancer, we sign them up to our program and we help them through all of their financial issues that they may have. We sign them up for transportation. We pay for every kilometer that they put in to get their child to Winnipeg. We pay for accommodations if we need to. We've helped families with loss of job due to taking care of their child. We just know that when having a child with cancer, the last thing you want to worry about is financial situations. So that's what we're there for. Our Hearts of Hope program is a similar program where we help people with different financial issues. We also help with it could be helping with gas money. It could be helping somebody buy equipment for their home if they're going through a cancer battle, just whatever people need. That program is actually funded by Homestead Co-op, and they provide us with $15,000 a year for that program. So we're very grateful for that organization as well. So why am I here? I'm not here to ask for money, which as a council, you're probably happy to hear, but I know that everyone around this room is leaders in this community. And we're the type of organization that sometimes people don't know about us until they need us. And that's what we want to stop. We want to make sure that people know who we are and that they can reach out to us and make sure that nobody slips through the cracks when it comes to getting to the important treatment that they need. That's all I have to say tonight. Thank you, and I hope you will share what we do at Central Plains Cancer Services.
Okay, thank you, Sherilyn. And I'm going to open up for questions from council. Councillor Meyer?
Thank you, Sherilyn, for the presentation, and I really admire your passion, and I certainly have a lot of empathy for the organization. Something I know that we've supported both personally and professionally in the years gone past. So I just want to thank you for bringing it out to the forefront, and I know that we will certainly work on getting that message out to the rest of the citizens in your area. So thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Meyer.
Further questions from members of council? Well, I just want to say thank you for sharing that with us. I know your organization is kind of one of the gold standards as far as service to our community and many other communities, as you pointed out. So again, thank you for sharing that. We'll be sure that we pass it on.
Thank you.
And you had about 15 seconds left.
Yeah, finish up.
Now that's all the delegations we have this evening. We'll move on to public hearings. First of all, we'll open the public hearing for variation PC 4921. This is for Vertex Construction Limited at 392 Oxford Common. Is there anyone here to speak to the hearing? Anyone here to speak to the hearing for Vertex Construction Limited? Variation PC 4921. Okay, well, seeing none, I'll entertain a motion to close the public hearing.
Bear with me just a second, Your Worship. My system is having a default. Come on. Why is this doing this now? Could you maybe carry on, Councillor Draycott? And where's our motion? Oh, there we go. Where do I get to your motion? Oh, there we are. Now, forgive me for that. There we go. Thank you, Councillor Draycott. Thank you, Your Worship. Be it resolved, and I so move that the public hearing for variation PC 49-21 for Vertex Construction Limited, 392 Oxford Common now be closed.
Moved by Councillor Meyer, is seconded by Councillor Buds. All those in favor? And that's carried.
Okay, thank you. Council, before you, you'll see that there is a request for variation from the Vertex Construction Limited, or also known as Brian and Teresa Dick. And the issue they have is to vary the following, which is at 382 Oxford Common, to change the maximum site coverage of 40% to be increased to 42%. The south side yard requirement of 3 meters to be reduced to 2.13 meters, and the north side yard requirement of 3.6 meters to be reduced to 3.04 meters. As always, we have the opportunity to approve the variation application as presented or to deny the variation application. The background, as I just stated, they're applying for a variation in order to vary the following, as I talked about. Council has approved similar variances in the past. The minute references are there for your reference as well. The building is an R2, a residential two-family zone, and the applicant would like to allow duplex designs to fill on the lots. So the application has been circulated to the various city departments. There have been no concerns, and public notices have been sent to all property owners within a 100-meter radius, and there have been no objections. So it's administrative recommendation, and I so move that the Council of the City of Portage la Prairie approve the variation request of Vertex Construction Limited, operating and Brian and Teresa Dick to vary the following. 382 Oxford Common, maximum site coverage of 40% to be increased to 42%. The south side yard requirement of 3 meters to be reduced to 2.13 meters. And the north side yard requirement of 3.6 meters to be reduced to 3.04 meters. At the property known as 392 Oxford Common, which is legally described as lots 17 and 18, Plan 58 and 988 in the parish of Portage la Prairie.
Moved by Councillor Meyer and seconded by Councillor Buds. Any questions or comments on the motion? All those in favor of the motion? And that's carried. We'll move into committee now. First up is Finance Legislative Property Committee. Councillor Buds, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Your committee has nothing to report this evening.
Thank you. City Planning and Economic Development Committee. Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Your Worship. The City Planning and Economic Development Committee has nothing to report, although there is an item down in new business.
Thank you. Community Service Committee. Councillor Draycott, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. This evening, we do have the Affordable Housing Project on the agenda. So our issue this evening is to approve an affordable housing project and authorization of payments. A little bit of an analysis. We did go through this last committee meeting. Back in April of 2021, the City of Portage la Prairie was provided $1.124 million from the province of Manitoba to invest in affordable housing project and initiatives within our community. As a contractual partner of the city, the Portage la Prairie Community Revitalization Corporation, PCRC, was asked to submit a proposal for the use of these funds in partnership with established community partners. In response, the PCRC submitted a proposal that addressed 4 major areas to utilize the provided funds to address affordable housing needs in our community. They are as follows. Number 1, the construction of affordable rentals. The PCRC had submitted a plan to leverage provincial funds with several other programs to build 6 new 3-bedroom units. These units will be rented and managed by the PCRC and rented at below market pricing. At least 2 units will be fully accessible to people living in our community with mobility challenges. These units will be built at different locations throughout the city with a focus of being close to community assets, and the anticipated completion date would be September of 2023. Number 2, first-time home buyers program. This program would help those first-time home buyers who face barriers accessing home ownership due to the down payment required. The program would seek up to 20 local families who can afford rent but cannot make the leap to home ownership with providing a forgivable loan secured by the property. Similar programs have been very successful in other communities in Manitoba. This program would conclude in September of 2023. Number 3, the Affordable Housing Study. In order to best target current and future resources, the PCRC will conduct a housing needs assessment study. This study would focus on all areas of housing needed and provide guidance on how the city should approach affordable housing projects in the future. This study would also give the city a competitive advantage when applying for affordable housing grants from the federal level in the future. The study would conclude and be presented to the City Council by September 2023. And number 4, a partnership with the Habitat for Humanity. Habitat for Humanity has a long history of successful affordable housing projects within the City of Portage la Prairie. In 2022, the local chapter plans to build a duplex building and has requested $150,000 in seed money from the city to help bring this project to fruition. PCRC has agreed to partner with Habitat to administer this project to create additional affordable housing units in our community. This project would be completed in 2023. Administration has reviewed these proposals and has received conditional approval from the province of Manitoba to move forward with the funding of the projects as stipulated in the original funding agreement. If approved by Council, administration will work with PCRC to establish a timetable that will allow for funding to be transferred to support these projects, subject to clear benchmarks being completed over the next 2 years. It is the administrative recommendation that the Council of City of Portage la Prairie approve the affordable housing project as submitted by the PCRC and authorize the city manager to administer a total payment of $1,124,000 as required for the project advancement, subject to the terms and conditions of the province funding agreement. I so move.
Moved by Councillor Draycott and seconded by Councillor Knox. Any questions or comments on the motion? Councillor Draycott?
Just to repeat my comments from last meeting, I think that this is an important project, and it's exciting to see this money come into the city of Portage la Prairie to address some of the financial constraints as far as affordable housing goes, and I'm excited to see this come to fruition.
Okay, thank you. Further comments or questions? All those in favor of the motion? And that's carried.
And that's all I have this evening, Your Worship.
Thank you, Councillor Draycott. And Waterworks Committee, Councillor Wall.
Thank you, Your Worship. Waterworks Committee has nothing to report this evening.
Thank you. And Councillor Espy, Transportation Committee.
Thank you, Your Worship. The Transportation Committee has nothing to report.
Thank you. Councillor Knox, Public Safety Committee.
Thank you, Your Worship. Nothing from your Public Safety Committee this evening.
Thank you. We have no deferred business this evening. However, we have some new business. The first item of new business is the zoning bylaw 21-8724. And this is City Planning and Economic Development Committee. Councillor Meyer, please.
Thank you, Your Worship, and Council, as you have before you, which was presented at committee at last council meeting. What we want to try to do tonight is to commence the process of adopting a new City of Portage la Prairie zoning bylaw, and by giving bylaw number 21-8724 the very first reading. So the background, as sure most are aware, of course, the zoning bylaw dictates, first of all, from the planning, Portage la Prairie's planning district, which is a regional body, of course. This is just for the city of Portage la Prairie. And what they've done is completed a comprehensive review of the city of Portage la Prairie zoning bylaw 10-8492. In the process of completing that many changes, the planning district recommends adopting the new city of Portage la Prairie zoning bylaw number 21-8724, and thus repealing the city of Portage la Prairie zoning bylaw 10-8492. I know council's gone through it, but I also just want to point out some of the highlights. Again, with some of the basic wording amendment updates, the main changes are as follows. There have been more definitions that have been added, and as you can tell, a little more clarity to those as well. Part 2 in the administration enforcement, Part 3 general development standards have been changed to make it more consistent. As you know, things in the future can change periodically, so it's part of the reason why this was done. You'll see that parking in a C2 is reduced parking requirements. There's no minimum off-street parking requirements applied to most commercial uses within a C2 or central commercial. Down to Part 6, I know this has been on the table before, is added an animal kennel and animal daycare as conditional use in an M1 or a light industrial zone, and also permitted use in M2 or heavy industrial zone as well. New section was created for use standards as Part 8, and use standards may be in addition standards that are applicable to the use in the actual tables themselves. So the application, if approved, will be circulated to the province for review and then comment after the first reading. And then as per Section 74 of the Planning Act, Council shall indicate its intention to enact a zoning bylaw amendment by giving first reading and proceed with public notices as set out in Section 168. So the first reading of bylaw number 21-8724 will commence the process as defined in the Planning Act, and that's in considering this application. So it's the administrative recommendation, and I so move that the Council of the City of Portage la Prairie give bylaw number 21-8724 first reading, and that public notice be provided as defined in Section 168 of the Planning Act.
Moved by Councillor Meyer and seconded by Councillor Buds. Questions or comments on the motion? Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Your Worship. No questions. I just want to comment before the vote that the amount of work that the people of the planning district put into this, it is an extensive and comprehensive review that they went through it, and I know that the work that they did kind of addressed every single area that we had within the city. So, thank you, Your Worship.
Any further questions or comments on it? All those in favor of the motion? And that's carried. We have no old business this evening, so council is adjourned at 6:34 p.m. and we're going to move right into committee, which is open to the media and open to the public. I'll call committee to order at 6:35 p.m. First up is Finance and Legislative Property Committee. Councillor Buds, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. Your committee has nothing to report this evening.
Thank you. City Planning and Economic Development. Councillor Meyer.
Thank you, Your Worship. The City Planning and Economic Development Committee has nothing in committee tonight.
Thank you. Community Services. Councillor Draycott.
Thank you, Your Worship. Nothing for community services in the committee meeting this evening.
Thank you. And Councillor Wall, Waterworks Committee.
Thank you, Your Worship. No report from Waterworks Committee for committee.
Thank you. And Councillor Espy, Transportation Committee.
Thank you, Your Worship. The Transportation Committee has nothing to report.
Thank you. And Councillor Knox, Public Safety Committee.
Thank you, Your Worship. Nothing from public safety this evening.
Thank you. So committee is adjourned at 6:35 p.m. Thank you for coming out, everybody.